have it up for support.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've got a new wave emote. Use this.
There we go.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
And
You like the Moogle in your chat?
yeah, I saw that. Kupo.
I got a bunch of these now. Yeah, stream.
Got that from another one you're following?
Yeah, there's a guy named BGGO2. It stands for background guy. He does RPGs.
Ah.
But yeah, he's got like a whole huge collection of beautiful Moogle.
I gotta add more email
animated
things. I only have the one. I have like 2 more I can put in. I just haven't put in stuff. Totally should.
Yeah, these are all really cute. I don't know who he paid to animate these, but they're gorgeous. If you mouse over them, you can see them up close, and they really look nice.
All right. There we go. Right then. Hello, everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corvidian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and today we're doing another episode of Fabula Ultima, the castle that would pierce the horizon. Let's begin with our poem of the week. Wrong page. Still the wrong one. There we go.
Wrong lever.
Beneath the mountain's silent face, where time and stone and stillness trace, there lies a forge forgotten old, whose secrets in the shadows hold. A place where fire once did roar, and hammers struck the ancient floor, now quiet as the winds that pass, yet in its depths the shadows grasp. The dwarven halls they stretch and wind, a labyrinth that the world left behind. And deep within the heart of the earth, a metal waits to prove its worth. Its gleam is lost in endless night, yet whispers call to those with sight, who seek the fire that once did burn, to find the flame and make it turn. The forge now silent hides its grief, a legacy of broken belief. The flames long quenched, the bellows stilled, the weight of time, the air was filled. Yet those who venture far below to seek the spark that dark has stolen will face the trials of ghosts long past, and through the storm will hold their fast. For in the deep the shadows grow, guarded by those whom none shall know, the lost ones, crowned with rust and shame, who guard the secret, hold the flame. They stand where once the anvils rang, now silent in their sorrowed clang. Their voices lost in the forge's cry, their steps the echoes of the sky. But there, beyond the stone's embrace, the metal waits in sacred place, its power, old as stars that shine, its form, a fire so pure, divine. To wield it takes a steady hand, a heart unbroken, pure, unmanned. For in the forge, beneath the earth, is more than metal, there's rebirth. So seek ye not just shining gold, but strength of heart and strength of soul. For in the deep where shadows creep, a forge awaits and calls to keep. A spark of flame, a life restored, to light the path, to strike the chord. And when the fire at last does rise, the forge shall open the skies. And we
That was
shift
dramatic. I like it.
in to the city of Castle Highmount. So, all of you had your houses, your estates brought to order. The Aether de Weimerborough, the Wayfarer's Rest of Morduncan, and the Palazzo Lucius. And in your time, all of you, after having gotten some rest, make your way to the Emerald Gate to see if your train is ready to go, because there is much to do. However, you learn from your fellow adventurer Zevin Demeril that the long journey spent on ley lines has done considerable wear and tear on the wheels, and she needs to rebuild them with a particular type of metal that she can buy she's bought a lot of stuff from Highmount markets, but the kind she needs is the sort of metal that normally only Ascarans would bother making. And it's not a thing that's made all that often in the duchy, and the only other ones that might mess with it, in theory, would be Coriastellum, but Coriastellum doesn't do trains. So, Ascar is the only one that really does trains on a regular basis. So, she needs you to find for her, somewhere, a bit of heartstone that she can work with some of her magispheres to make the Ascaran metal that she requires. Until then, she's going to keep working on the train to fix everything else up. But without Hearthstone, she can't rebuild the wheels. And without the wheels, this train won't survive high speeds on the rails of the Ascaran railway system. Which wouldn't be a problem if you were staying off the main rails and just using ley lines, but if you want to go into any settlement, that's going to become an issue very quickly.
Well, and also it's Ascara. They basically all their ley lines are on the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah.
Pretty much.
Major quest: collect Hearthstone.
Yep. Look,
Well,
we're doing the in between chapters quest.
Hey, this stuff's important. I suppose we could. Well, I mean, my burrow actually touches in the old dwarven barracks, they mentioned when they sold it to me that there were old dwarven tunnels beneath Highmount. Maybe we should get in contact with that fellow that we, who did so well at his job at finding us places to live. Maybe he would know people who can direct us or give us directions of how to get to the stuff underneath and locate. Maybe there's no mines down there. Dwarves would know if anyone would if there's Hearthstone available.
I may check in with Dom Jessica and see if the Duke has any records that
Good idea.
may point us in the right direction. Besides, I've been meaning to have a discussion with her regarding some of my latest discoveries.
Right.
Hmm.
Do you have any cool ideas more?
I think I might. One moment. Thinking.
You can hear the hamster wheel from here.
Um, what I am thinking of is checking out a local tavern and seeing if there's any rumors nearby about these heartstones. See what tavern talk there is.
And which taverns do you frequent? The ones in Emerald Gate, in Mead Hall, Imperium Town, South Ward? There's no real tavern per se in the Castle Highmount district. It's not really a district, but those different colors there, those are like the various government buildings that support Castle Highmount. So there's not really a tavern
I
there.
think I think I'll start with Imperium Town just because if memory serves, that's kind of like the trader um, market district, right?
Mead Hall's more of that. Imperium Town is the place where people from Guacamole actually live. But there are taverns there. Like the locals live. There's local taverns there. Mead Hall is a lot more mercantile, traveler, big business
Gotcha.
type district.
Well, the locals probably would know what I'm looking for, so
Yeah.
I'll stick around there and ask around about it.
And Aether's going to see the Seneschal near the Castle Highmount
Sure.
district.
Before I leave, I'd like to creep up on Lucius one last time. Say,
Yeah.
so,
Sneak attack. No, just kidding.
did you have anything else important that you needed to talk to the Lady Jessica about in particular? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, I need to discuss with her the elemental arcanum. See what she knows of them.
I'm just gonna nod up and down, big and slow. Right. Okay. Then I'll leave.
And Lucius will be going to Castle Highmount to meet with the Lady Jessica. So there's a bit where Aether and Lucius are walking the same way to basically just follow the main road.
Yeah.
And through the plaza. You just split off. We'll deal with more Duncan first, because hers doesn't require a roll. It's just a thing she has as a wayfarer. And as you go to the tavern, you will have to spend some amount of money to be drinking and like stick around without looking weird. Unless you're literally just walking up to people not buying anything.
No, I'd buy beverages. That's fine.
They'll charge you. They give a discount, so they'll just charge you 5 Zenit.
Sure.
5 Zenit will get you a lot because you get a discount for being a hero of the duchy.
That's fine. I will pay.
And how many skill points do you have? You have 2 levels of it?
Yes.
Yep. What are your 2 questions as you enjoy some nice, hearty Highmount beer?
Are there heartstones in the area? Have you ever heard of anything like that? Would be the first question.
Yeah. More of a dwarven thing, really, but yeah, in the mountains throughout Guacamole.
Really? And who can, like, is there any special permit needed to mine them? Or get them?
Depends if someone has a claim on them, really. If a certain dwarven clan claims them, then you need their permission. The duchy doesn't really. They worry more about the big mines, like the big iron mines and the silver mines, but Heartstone's a dwarven trade. So they're the only ones who really keep track of it. If you find one that's untapped, then luck's on your side.
Is there a place in the city where I could look up the? This would be my second question. Where I could look up the claims that are
Probably in
legal?
the probably in the Highmount district.
Okay. Thanks a
Or
lot.
they would say the Castle district. Would be a better way to put it.
All right. That gives me what I need.
Very good. We'll
So
go.
I'll buy this. I'll buy the person I was speaking with a drink as well as a thanks.
Well, another 5 Zenit because you can buy it. You can buy it. With 5 Zenit, you buy more than enough for them to have a nice drink for a while.
Okay. Cool.
As people learn of the generosity of more Duncans, like, hey, she can afford to buy us a whole pitcher of the stuff. It's like, well, I mean, only 5 Zenit. It's not that much money to me. We cycle over to Aether, who goes to see the Seneschal of.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll
I'm
real
out.
happy to see me again.
Thankfully, there is a bit of a wait, but once he learns that you're here, he doesn't mind waving you ahead. Because anything major you would have had to do, you've already done. So,
Yeah.
you basically wait maybe 15 minutes or so between meetings, and then he kind of lets you come in for a short while.
Okay. I'll thank him for this minor bit of his time. I don't mean to take up much of his day. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine. Got a few applications for the upcoming festival near the tree, but nothing
Ooh, festival
major.
near the tree.
Hmm.
Do tell. I'll creep up closer around the side of his desk so that I can kind of glance over at what his papers maybe if he doesn't object.
You see a bunch of applications for tents, vendor spaces, taxation reports,
Sure.
things like that, things of that nature.
Boring stuff. Yeah, boring stuff.
Um, he says, "Well, the life tree, the Great Life Tree, in the center of the duchy, is holding a new seasonal change, going into autumn. So we're going to be. A lot of people want to set up for a variety of seasonal rituals. There is, of course, the giving of thanks upon the life tree for its protection from the elves. But there's the feeding day for the halflings. There's the cider day for most of dwarven kind, and most of the humans are trying to set up their Saints Day. Although it is a little out of, we're doing it a little early, but that way they can have the same celebration with everyone else.
Yeah. Is there an equinox type of celebration thing too, or?
Yes, it's the autumnal equinox.
Yeah. Interesting. So, I have a question, sir. You strike me as a dwarf's dwarf. In fact, possibly one of the most dwarfiest dwarfs I've ever met, which I hope you take as a compliment. But and as I say this, I'm creeping up a little bit closer, just close enough that he could reach out and pat my little head if he wanted to, right?
Hmm.
But I'll say, and as a result of that, I imagine you know quite a few other dwarves who have contacts all throughout the area. And it's come upon my interest that we need Heartstone for our train's wheels. And I was wondering if you knew how we could acquire some, or if people you know might know how we acquire some. And I'll flutter my eyelashes.
Oh boy.
Well, let's look at the map here. Gets up and walks over to a map of
The kingdom.
the duchy. And the surrounding areas as well.
Sure.
Duchy. We are here. Wait for so many tiles. Alright, so we're in the Grand Mount here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the North Mount there. And then there is the Lover's Mount there. So in any
That
one
sounds
of
fair.
these, Lover's Mount is with the Louvre clan. They likely have some Heartstone that they mine for their armor. The Nord Mounts, I believe it's being contested. The current Heartstone seam that's there between two families. They haven't applied for ducal intervention yet, so I don't know the details. I've just heard of it through clan talk. Yeah, if you
I'll
understand.
just give him a wink like I know what he's talking about.
Now, supposedly there also was a seam here in the Grand Mount, but if it would have been anywhere, it would have been here under High Mount. But I don't know how much of that survived the ducal invasion a couple generations ago when High Mount was built. So there may be one here, but I wouldn't know where to even look. The clan that was here was driven off the mountain and nearly wiped out.
Oh. Would you know of any dwarven scholars who might be aware of what might be available here, or whose permission we would need to delve and search for it ourselves if it's not claimed by another clan?
All I can tell you is that, as far as I'm aware, if there is any claim, it'd be held by the ducal family.
Oh.
There's probably a claim by that family as well, but you'd have to go looking for them.
Right, and how would they be able to exercise it if they're not here anymore? Right.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
I'm
Well,
distantly related to them. I might technically have claim, but I couldn't tell you.
I see.
That would be my father's time, and a lot of them don't like. Some of them don't like High Mount.
Okay.
Bad memories for them.
I'd like to point out that by the end of this conversation, I've snuck up close enough to get my head right up under his hand, so that he might absent-mindedly be petting me.
No, he starts kind of like pushing your shoulder away a little bit because you're getting into his bubble now. He's like,
I can't even get a roll to try to sneak in.
No, you're getting into his personal space. It's a
Okay.
Although you were able to get really close to him before he bothered, because dwarves don't mind being are used to crowded spaces. They're used to caverns. So it wasn't until you're right with it, almost practically under his hand, he's like, too close.
Okay, fair enough. I'll back off then. I won't push that any further then. But I'll thank him for his time and for the information. And I'll say, so just to make it clear though, if we go ourselves through the passages under the city that that my dwarven neighbors have told me about, and locate Heartstone, then we'd be clear to mine it as long as the duchy doesn't care.
I'd assume so.
I give him a big grin and say, well, I won't take up any more of your time any further, sir. Thank you very, very much. And if you like, I'd like to invite you to dinner sometime. Probably not today, but in the next few days, if you'd like to come by.
Leave a note with my ward out front, and my secretary rather, and he'll pass it on. He'll make sure we don't have cross dates.
Of course. I know you're a busy dwarf. Thank you very much. And I make my way away.
And then we swing up to Castle Highmount as Lucius goes to meet with the Lady Jessica. You do find her in her tower, in the northernmost tower of Castle Highmount, along the wall. A long sapphire spire that reaches high almost as tall as the ducal spire. Although her tower seems to be more modern in that it doesn't look nearly as militant. It looks far more arcanist and lore mastery. It's a lot more less militant, more aesthetic.
Mm.
And
Okay.
and when you ascend up through the sapphire steps, you see various paintings and little what are those called? They're almost like little lockets with side profiles.
That's called a cameo, sir.
A cameo. Thank you very much. Little cameos framed, which
You're
odd.
welcome.
They're not. They're normally something you wear, not something you put on a wall. But she seems to. If I were to compare it to something more contemporary for us, think of it like if you ever seen like those Pokemon badge things where they have a bunch of little badges in a little case, kind of like that, except it's little cameos.
Somebody had to
I,
catch
th- I
them
thought you
all.
were. I thought you were gonna say like Pokemon cards
Yeah.
in like a giant frame on the wall.
Kinda, yeah.
Somebody,
No.
whatever they were, somebody had to get them all.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Cool.
Oh.
Well, Lucius ascends the stairs. He has like a bundle of scrolls in the Coriostellum style under his arm.
Mm.
Vibius and Umbrinius probably are given a motion to be at ease, more or less.
Mm-hmm. And they'll wait at the. We kind of as you get all the way up to. Do you want them to go all the way up the steps and stop at the door to the final room, or do you want them to kind of hang back at the bottom?
They can wait at the door for the final room.
Okay.
I trust him.
And that was his first mistake. No. The three of you eventually ascend to what appears to be a door, a heavy metal door, with various arcane emblems upon its face, and there seems to be what appears to be a moon, the face of a moon, with a glowing purplish bluish runes around it. These are letterings that you're familiar with. They're modern dwarven lettering, which is popular for runic work, which Coriostellum's familiar with. Runic work isn't that strange to you. It doesn't make a ton of sense on its face. They're basically emblems representing different phases of the moon.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that the magic of Wokomal is very much based around the celestial spheres.
Mm.
So that tracks, even if I don't understand the underlying magic. Lucius will look around and is Dom Jessica around?
You see a door in your way.
Oh, okay. To which then he approaches. Does it have like a knocker on it, or is it just a?
It's a metal door with a moon face on it with runes. You don't even see a handle.
Ah, cool. He just sort of approaches it, looks it up and down, and just knocks.
You move your hand up to the face of the moon, and the face of the moon's eyes snap open, gleaming with blue, and then its mouth opens with a big silvery smile.
Ugh.
And then you see the runes kind of flare up, and you can see like little flames burning away like twinkling lights. Hello.
Vibius just sort of probably hides behind Umbrinius.
Yeah, you can take this hit, right? I took the last one.
Yeah. Lucius just looks at it. Hello?
Hello.
This is another sentient door situation. Is this what we're doing? Oh, okay. Who are you? Are you the doorman?
I'm a door, a moon door, a door of moons. What are you? An asker of
I am
questions. Question asker.
I am Lucius, the last pilgrim of Mount Novio. And he does a flourish.
Ah,
The first pilgrim is rolling in his grave.
you are very humble.
See, someone notices, and he looks back at Vibius and Umbrinius.
Who are you seeking?
I'm here to speak with Dom Jessica. I have some records of previous exploits and notes that I wish to exchange with her.
What is citrusy and sour, but a friend of sailors everywhere?
An orange?
Close enough. And the things flare brightly. It looks like a spell's being cast. And the moon spins in place. And you can see that because the face is tumbling in place. You see the runes spinning with it. And then the door slides open, revealing the room of the Lore Master Jessica with a variety of scrolls and tomes. It is more library and study than it is somewhere someone sleeps. But you do see there's a bed in there. There's like a loft above that also has more books. And you see the Dame Jessica at a desk, surrounded by more books. Her sword kind of resting, kind of breaking the whole librarian feel as that sword kind of draws all the attention because it is clearly a magical sword and it is a Dark Knight sword, so you can see it gleaming with power. And you get the feeling that if some fool thief had come here to steal it from her, that they would not get to keep that sword for very long.
Battle librarian, battle librarian. Dom Jessica.
Hello, Lucius, she says over her shoulder. Come in, or the door closes.
He enters. Um, Interesting riddle it has there. Would it have accepted any citrus, or...
It changes its questions depending on who it's talking to. If you were very rude to it, the question would have been a lot harder. Buys me time to let me know who's out there. Not you
Uh,
two. And then you hear the door ka-chunk and stop and Brinius and Vibius from coming in. Like,
oof. Yes, well, fortunately, citrus fruits such as oranges and lemons are popular among the sailors of Coriostellum, especially the ones that have to travel to the jungle lands to the south. Uh, I'm particularly partial to the limoncello beverages that come from there.
it must be nice to benefit from conquered colonies of the Empire. Oh, sorry, it's a republic now. They changed their name.
Anyhow, and he takes the scrolls out from under his arms and sets them down. I've made a number of records of my most recent foray into the Republic, some of which I think you might find illuminating. Uh,
She gestures for you to put him on the desk in front of her. She kind of moves
yeah,
the
yeah,
book
yeah,
she was working on out of the way.
yeah, and he does so. I think the most important one to start with would be, and he unrolls one. This is what I've managed to assemble regarding the great fire arcanum Pyrian. Uh, Being the last pilgrim to Mount Novio has given me a few unique insights that I've put to paper, or put to parchment.
And what is Lucius hoping to glean from this tete-a-tete with
Uh,
Lady Jessica?
well, so, he's gonna go over everything, and the idea he wants to run past her,
Mhm.
because this is his suspicion, is that um the Dark Sorceress Morwenna
Mhm.
wanted something. Like, her goal, presumably, was the destruction of the Grand Fire Arcanum. But why? And his reasoning is that if the Dark Sorceress is beholden to the powers of darkness, the elemental power of darkness, her goal might be to destroy all the other elemental arcanum until only the shadow arcanum is left.
You are looking at a open test, and you are going to gain +3 from her because she has a wide variety of books to help you with your on a variety of topics. She herself is a master lore master. And she's also an experienced adventurer who has dealt with the Darklands frequently. So she's personally more familiar than your average lore master would be on the topic, short of someone who's actually
Yeah,
from the Darklands.
and I will say, as she's a master lore master, she would probably be able to tell that Lucius is literally a level away from being a master lore master as well.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the reasons you don't
so
have, besides being a hero of the realm, the fact that you're also fellow lore master, she's inclined to help you anyway. So that's why she's giving you all the resources she can.
oh yeah, like, and he brought more than just this. Like, he's brought a number of other notes just
Yeah.
on other things, because that's as lore masters, that's the professional courtesy.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this an insight check?
Insight would be part of it, yeah.
Cool, cool. In which case this plays my focused, so I get a +3 to this in addition to the +3 I already get, so that's +6.
Nice.
Come on. Okay, I'll take that. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think that's 2 full uh degrees above
Actually, I
7.
think it's 3 now because the difficulties are 7, 10, and 13.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's 2 steps above base success.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
7, 10, 13, yeah. So 13's good. It's an expert or true prodigy. So, um, she is able, between you and her, you're able to glean that there is. It seems to be less that she's trying to destroy all the other elements. It's the fact that she's trying to gather enough reagents, very special reagents, to make a much grander ritual within her grasp, uh, and a lot more likely to succeed. Which
And
means,
those reagents
go ahead.
and those reagents would have been easier for her to get if the Grand Fire Arcanum was not in the way.
She would collect it from it basically, because usually those reagents you'd have to go through a whole pilgrimage and a quest to prove yourself worthy, and then it would give you a nice little prize, and it's like, oh, I can use this as a reagent, cool. But it's
Or
like,
or just kill the thing and take it by force.
yeah, which is way easier and requires a lot less kowtowing and enlightenment and self-discovery and all that nonsense she doesn't have time for.
It's the Dark Sorceress way of doing it. Got it. Cool. Okay. So other reagents might not necessarily be of Grand Arcanum. They could be, but not necessarily.
Grand Arcana would be very powerful. If she was even looking at a single Grand Arcanum reagent, that means you're using a piece of that to talk to something even bigger. And that's the bit that Jessica's a little confused on. It's like, well, the Grand Arcanum are the Grand Arcanum. They are what make up the world. So she's not entirely sure who she's summoning to, because she's not an entropy. Normally, she just assume she's trying to use entropy, but she's an elementalist, so she's talking to the
Hmm.
elements. The elements are known, um,
Interesting.
and there's a grand arcanum for each of them, other than physical, because physical is the planet you're standing on.
Right.
So
In which case, perhaps this has something to do with the fact that she's departed for the Sultanate. Uh, Perhaps whatever is there may be the next piece of this puzzle, either as what she was hoping to accomplish in addition to the Grand Arcanum, or as something to stand in its place? I don't know.
it could be some form of their magitech that she's trying to harness. It's a The Ascarans would have you believe that they are the next evolution of magic, um, which
Hmm.
that's what sorcerers said when they captured the first elements.
Indeed. We, while we were in Coriostellum, we, by chance happened to wander through a, um, Sultanate, what was the term, uh, Seven used for it? She said it so many times. It was a pop-up tower, effectively. A magical pop-up tower that the Sultanate sometimes has.
Hmm. Uh, I think they're called collapsible wizards towers or alchemist towers or something. I
Yes,
don't use
yes,
them.
that was it. Uh, yes, we were in one of those, and we did find some books. And actually, wait, that's right. Lucius saved that book about the harvesters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he'll have kept that book, but he will have copied down choice passages. Um, uh, while I would give you the full uh well, I would give you the full manuscript, considering that we're about to go to the Sultanate ourselves. I'd rather keep it in our possession, the original. But I did copy the notable bits if you think this might help in any of your research. But that's a bit beyond the scope of what we're going to accomplish in our discussions here. I do have one last request that actually just recently came to my attention while we were out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in order for Seven to make full repairs to um, her train, in order to put us back on the rails of the Sultanate, um, she needs to do some strange alchemical something or other to what was it? Looks through his papers again. A heart stone,
Oh.
and uh, we thought it likely that we may be able to find one somewhere in within the mountain.
Um. Can't say I've ever worked with Hearthstone before, to be honest with you. All I know dwarves work with it. Um.
Very well. I thought it was worth asking. Uh,
Oh, it's all. Oh,
Otherwise,
Of course, it's also something they buy and sell in Ascara. It seems to be a lot more plentiful down there. Wonder if there's more dwarves down
yes.
there. Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, yes, hence Seven's necessitating it.
Ah.
Um, Very well. The others are also looking into the matter. I trust they'll have found something.
Oh, likely. A lot of dwarves live here in Highmount. They ran into anyone who knew more about their. Uh, I mean, they are the masters of metal and mind, so.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you find anything else you want to run by me, let me know. I mean, I'll do what I can to help you figure it out. It is
Of
interesting
course.
about. It'll make it easier for me to advise the Duke on what we should do, and I think we're gonna be probably sponsoring more adventurers going into the Darklands now. If what you tell me of the sorceress is bearing more fruit than we think it is.
Indeed. She's an active player on the world stage now. She's not just she's not just in the Darklands, and Coriostellum wasn't just a one-off.
Hmm. Well, I'll let you get back to. Unless you have something else you wanted to discuss, I'll let you get back to your
Un-
journeys.
Unless you have anything, any specific questions or queries.
She thinks.
Hey,
The one thing I would ask you to do when you go to Ascara
side quest, side quest, side quest.
is
Yeah.
there is a text you probably should look into. She wanders around. She gets up and looks through her library briefly, pulling at books, flipping through them, closing it, putting it back. Now,
Mhm.
their magics are. Their Magitech has its own ways, but it may behoove you to look into. If I can find out what it's called. Yes, that's what it's called. It is uh, the Grand Arcana cards. She turns around, and she puts it down on a desk so you can see what she's talking about. See, and you see in the image what looks to be a spread of what it looks to be like tarot cards, Arcana cards. You know, so many swords. You know, judgment
Yeah.
and all that. Except these one now those you would have heard of. You may have even seen people use here in Okamal. You've seen people use major arcana cards. This tarot reading is major arcana, minor arcana. Major is all the major elements like moon, sun, and so on. And the minor arcana are all the other stuff, the swords, the pentacles, and so on. Major arcana are popular among arcanists who like to center them on certain arcanum to summon them easier. It makes it easier to send. It's like wands or magical fetishes. What she's showing you is a greater major arcana, and you notice the cards in the illustration are the illustrations in books like these are usually very well, incredibly well detailed and well drawn by artists and calligraphers and so on to get it
Are we looking
in
at
much
like an
detail.
illuminated manuscript type
Yes,
thing?
yes. Except this one is imagine an illuminated manuscript within an illuminated manuscript. Like they went to detail to get the cards right, and then each individual card has an extra bit of thing.
Wild.
And she explains these relate to the greater arcanum. Now, these cards are theoretical. A lot of us in among the lore master community have theorized that if there is major arcana, then there, and we know of greater arcana, it would follow that there would be greater major arcana cards. I heard the Ascarans found some out in one of their desert expeditions. Now, I severely doubt you can buy them from them. I mean, you can buy a set of Major Arcana for 900 Zenit here in town. But these? She points. The reason those you can get for 900 Zenit is you can just find a good scriptorum and have them illuminate you some cards and it'll work. These are one of a kind as far as we know. On the scale of an artifact. So even getting to see these and personally report on them would be immensely helpful and would allow for us to go beyond theory and confirm. Because for all I know, they just made it up.
Here's a question.
Mm.
Ooh, here's an interesting question. And if this is just like developing the way this kind of thing works in setting, because this feels like the kind of thing that would fit.
Mm.
Is this the kind of thing that would have befit someone in the role of like as originating from like the first pilgrim? Is this like
Anyone
the kind?
anyone who was a first pilgrim, so anyone who was connected with the greater arcanum would care about these
Right.
cards.
Yeah. Like, would this be something like contemporary with like those first pilgrims of antiquity?
Insight's part of it. I can't give more than that for free.
Okay, is this an open roll?
Yep.
Cool. I get a +3 to this
Yep.
just because of my thing. It's a 9.
That makes sense, but you're not sure. It's hard. You feel like you're speculating a little.
Okay. In which case, I consider it a viable theory.
It's not
If
nonsense.
nothing
Yeah,
else.
if you got at least 7, I'm willing to tell you it's not complete bunk, but you don't have a hard on it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll keep that in mind. Cool. In which case, yes, I will keep an eye out for these cards. I have an interest myself, as it would appear that the path I walk is one that might just cause me to run into the greater arcanum again. So, uh, I will let the rest of my group know to keep an ear out for that once we reach Ascara.
Mm-hmm. There's Zenit in it for them if they're looking. If they can get, as long as we can get records on it, I can easily make money passing on the information to others. If you can actually get the cards out of Ascara somehow, to me, let's just say you'll have friends in every corner of the countless realms that study lore mastery. So.
Very well. Well, if that'll be all then, I will be on my way, and I'll make sure that you are informed when we depart.
I appreciate
Assuming
it.
we
Oh, obvious. One thing to look out for, it is entirely possible that the sorceress may be looking for those cards, if they are there. Then again, stealing them from one of the grand vaults of Ascara, I'm not sure I'd want to do that with the entire Dark Knighthood of the Holy Empire.
Yes, but don't forget, she was able to easily manipulate one of the most powerful families in Coriostellum, so...
By offering them power and greed? That's historical for Coriostellum patricians, isn't it? The only difference
The
is
point
that,
is...
the difference being they aren't sorcerer kings and didn't know who they were dealing with.
Yes, the point being, she is adept at getting her web in deep. It wouldn't surprise me if she can find something that somebody over there wants, and she'll offer it to them.
Beware you don't get caught up in any Ascaran webs. If you think the machinations of the patricians are labyrinthine. There is a saying that of all bureaucracies, Askaran bureaucracy is what birthed all others.
While I never had to deal with it personally, I will at least say that as the son of a patrician, I was well taught to be wary of such machinations.
She
But
nods.
the advice is well taken.
She nods to you. It puts away her book and it starts organizing the stuff you've given her, so it gets filed away into her
Mhm.
system. There's a little part of you that probably twigs that it's funny she doesn't have a scribe in here, an apprentice. She seems to manage this herself.
Yep. Most impressive. Um, he'll gather up whatever, bits of paper that she's prepared for him, and leaves the room with a small sheaf of paper under a small sheaf of parchments. And I like to imagine that when he leaves the room, Vibius has been trying unsuccessfully for like the past 15 minutes to answer whatever riddles the door is like giving him.
uh, yeah. As you're getting ready to go, the door opens and Vibius kind of walks in, and the door immediately shuts in front of Brinius, who looks surprised, and then immediately annoyed the door closes again. Hey, it was horse racing. What? She looks over her shoulder. Oh.
Wait, was that what you rolled the d20 for?
Yeah. Uh. I just wanted to ask the
We're
lady a
just
question or two. I'll be right with you, Lucius.
and he looks to damn Jessica to, make sure it's okay with her.
She shrugs, like, yeah, it's fine. She looks more surprised than anything he got through the door.
Yeah, right. It was horse racing. In which case he just sort of gives a light bow and departs.
Eventually, it will rejoin with more Duncan and Aether in the Central Plaza. Vibius is tied with the damn Jessica for a bit.
Huh. Okay.
I'll come hopping up. Big grin on my face. Who do I see first?
You see more Duncan and Lucius more or less arriving around the same time as you.
Well, whoever happens to be randomly closer, give me a number.
Lucius, we'll say.
Okay, then. I hop up closer to Lucy and say, I desire head pats.
Well, we all desire things, Aether.
I lean forward and say, I earned these. Trust me. I grin.
Pat, pat. And he
Ears
like
will-
gives like
Come
a
open in the middle to
pats.
make plenty of space for you to give her a little head pat. Thank you.
People
So,
have died in the Darklands for not giving head pats.
Yeah. So it turns out, according to the Seneschal, that a couple of centuries ago, when the kingdom of High Mountain was founded, the dwarven clan that basically had rulership over the area of the mountain itself were driven out. I don't know if it was by the High Mountain themselves or other forces at play at the time, but there are no actual, basically mine claims on anything underneath High Mount. So if we go down there with some miners or some mining tools and we locate and get Heartstone, we can just mine it and it's basically okay because the ownership of it would belong to the Duke and he will almost certainly give us permission if we ask him.
Hmm. And as I was speaking with Dom Jessica, when I broached the topic to her, uh, she seemed to have no issue with us gathering some Heartstone.
Great. I'll turn to more.
Well, it sounds like you two are both. Uh, your conversation was more fruitful than mine. I was told that there's lots of Hearthstone in the area, but most of it has dwarven claims, and that to find out about who has claims on which Hearthstone, it would be um, probably kept somewhere in uh, the Highmount districts. So basically, just kind of reinforces what you two found.
I
Mm.
was half expecting you to have found a place to buy it or something. You're usually so good with your contacts.
I mean, I could have looked for it, but I just didn't.
And also,
Mm.
more, it strikes you suddenly that, yeah, there are places to buy them. They're in Ascara.
Not
or,
here, right?
or with the dwarven clans, actually. You could theoretically go up to a clan and buy it for a lot of Zenit. I'll tell you that for freaks. You're a master or merchant.
Like, I assume that we could buy it from one of the Dwarven clans, but it would probably be quite expensive,
Mm.
at least in the amount that we need.
Do you
So it
think we could
sounds like
go get it ourselves? Is that something we could do, or is that impossible?
our best bet is to head beneath the city and try to find some down there.
Well, I mean, I know a way down into the Undercity, and my neighbors have pointed out places where you can go to go deeper. Although I'm sure, like, I don't know exactly where to go. I could probably find out from somebody down there where they have the sealed off passages and not. I mean, there has to be somebody who knows. Maybe even the Duke. Should we bother the Duke with this?
Bibius eventually comes back. You see him like doing some practice swings with his weapon, and he seems like really thoughtful. Like, and he kind of like angles, swinging at some shadow of a fighter. Like, I should do this? No, I do it that way. Okay, do it that way. Got it. Oh, hi. I caught up pretty quick, didn't I?
Getting some pointers on how to thrust?
Yes.
Ah.
I actually found a new technique that me and Brandis and Lucius can do together.
Exciting.
As your rather intrepid assistant has given you the benefit of a combat lesson. This will double up with your existing camp activity bonus, as this is something that Bibius learned from a lore master after having a rather once in a lifetime shine of brilliance. So once before your next rest or next camp activity, you get your next accuracy check or magic check. Magic check that's offensive gets a +4 to the result of the check. As Phibius is able to throw out some pointers he learned from Jessica.
Nice.
Cool. Dope.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna like consider getting our own Heartstone from here in Highmount, won't we need the Duke's permission to mine it anyway? I mean, according to the Seneschal.
I would assume so.
Well, I mean, we're here. Why don't we go see if we can see him before day gets too long?
As the sun's overhead, you notice.
Yes, and as we walk towards Castle Highmount, Lucius will sort of brief the others on some of the other stuff, namely the theory that he's floating regarding what the Dark Sorceress is up to. But he also broaches. I will also inform Seven of this when we see her, but Dom Jessica has made me aware that somewhere in Oscara there may be a set of Arcanum cards of the Greater Arcanum.
The side quest. Yeah, I fill it out in my journal. Side quest.
Yep.
Locate major Arcanum cards, or at least records of their creation.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's intriguing. Cards. I didn't know they made cards for them. Hmm.
Well, they make cards for the minor arcanum. You could buy them here in Highmount for a little under 1,000 zenith.
If I were an arcanist, but I'm not. I mean, I don't need them.
Yes, but these are cards of the greater arcanum.
Hmm.
And as far as records show, they don't exist. These would be the only ones in recorded history.
They're like a legend.
Something like that. But rumors persist that they are in Oscara.
Corby, I have a dumb question.
Yeah.
Or request, really. Could you shrink my token a tiny bit? She's too big compared to the other players. Not that much. She's not a toy. I just meant like halfling sized.
The size is more reflective of your power level rather than your actual.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, it should like fill the room. No,
Sorry, a little.
that was pretty good though, right?
That was pretty good.
Thank you. All right. Oh, I just love this picture on the wall. I'm going to go admire it for a moment. That was the Duke's mother, correct?
Yep. The founder of the Eclipsaran faith.
A beauty.
The Duke kind of waves you guys over as you would have requested an audience with them and easily got it.
I guess this line on the floor is like the so-called, what would you say, the point of polite stoppage.
You've seen that you've been directed to stop there in the past, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
In earlier days, when you first met him, it was a lot more strictly held. Here, it's a little more. It's nice to do, but the Duke doesn't seem to be that alarmed. Heck, Dame Jessica isn't present for the audience. Almost like he's not worried you're going to attack him.
Right.
Yep. We're on the short list now.
Yeah. There are nobles who wish they had what you have right now. He's like, no, you guys can stand all the way back there. There's a bench over there. Have a seat.
The nobles all want long, beautiful ears?
Some of them. It's a fashion statement. But by winter, they want different ones. They want cat ears instead.
Yes.
Yes, good day, or good midday to you, I suppose. What brings you back so soon? I thought you were heading to Oscara.
Yes,
I'm going to elbow you gently in the thigh, Lucius. Can I talk?
Yes, by all means.
All right, I'll sort of muscle in front and give you a gentle pat on the arm as you let me by. And I say, deep, fancy little bow with one arm out. And then I'll realize I'm supposed to curtsy instead, and halfway through it'll become a curtsy. Very awkward as I rise. Duke, it has come to my attention that according to our train building companion, that our wheels are damaged from too much months and months of driving on ley lines without regular tracks. And in order to repair our wheels, we require Dwarven Heartstone. And from our own investigations, we've discovered that there may be Heartstone beneath the city that is not claimed by current Dwarven clans. And therefore, with your permission, since the Duke and the ducal manor would maintain ownership of the mining rights to the entire mountain, we would like to know if you would give us your blessing to go and find Heartstone. And then I catch my breath.
All in one go. Impressive.
He at first he looks puzzled, like he's kind of surprised this is where the conversation is going, and then as you go on, his face kind of falls a little bit. Kind of in his eyes eventually starts studying the patterns on the carpet and the back of his hand for a second, and then he kind of goes quiet. He looks at his ducal ring. I'm not entirely sure I have just claim to whatever remains in the mount. He looks up back at you. My grandfather would say, Pax Imperium Eterna. Imperial Peace Eternal. A shorthand that our Coristellum friend would recognize that is a generic claim that anything we bring peace to is ours. Thus, my grandfather would say he owns whatever his steel has plunged into. Well, my mother said that we hold stewardship in concert with those who live here. I hesitate to give a blanket assent because I don't think I truly have that. But I will say this. If you are to find any of this sacred heartstone, treat it with care. And I would tell you to seek out the clan Murum and request their permission. Present them a, let me think, a tribute of some of the heartstone you gather, and then request that they give you some of it for your wheel. That way, I am not sanctioning plundering their home any more than I already am. Minimize the damage. And it makes them not be angry with you for mining the stone, because, well...
Yeah. Lucius nods and turns back to more Duncan. Well, Lady Duncan, how does hammering out a trade agreement with some dwarves sound?
Certainly within my wheelhouse and more productive than possibly antagonizing them, so why not?
I will also nod when he completes saying what he's saying, and I'll say, very wise, your, I know it's not your highness, your eminence. I hope to hear that one day when the flag of Wakamal flies over and creates freedom for the Darklands as well, that your stewardship there will be just as wise and just as it is here in this kingdom. And I hope that comes to pass, because it frankly needs peace.
I think it's your grace.
Your grace, thank you. And then I'll awkwardly add, your grace.
One day, perhaps in my generation, I will have the power to unseat the Sorceress Morena. But I promise my pursuit of mastery will not end, simply because I have a strong rival to myself.
To that end, you should have a discussion with Dom Jessica. I have imparted a large amount of information from our travels to Coristellum that I think you will find most useful in those endeavors.
I'm sure she has a lecture series ready to go by the time you get on your way. You see a look of dread as he looks over your heads and imagines the many, many, many books he's going to have to read. Clearly not a lore master himself.
I
That's what
suppose
he has.
the last.
That's what he has a lore master for.
Exactly.
Yeah. I suppose there is one last thing you could help us with then.
Hmm.
Could you point us in the direction of the clan Mur so that we could speak with them, or where would be the closest members?
The clan Murum do not reside here in Highmount. Let me think.
Oh, we actually have to travel for this.
You would have to go north to Stonehaven. Would be the closest Murum representative. Or perhaps south to Luminesca, but Stonehaven's more popular among the Dwarven kind than Luminesca. Luminesca is more of a Fayish stronghold than Stonehaven is. Stonehaven was where the Murum clan was routed to, so.
I see.
So the goal would be get some of this stone, travel north to,
And make our tribute and make our case and hope that they agree.
and fortunately
And then
because there aren't any like actual rails here. Because there aren't any actual like rails here, right?
No, it stops at the city, the gate city you guys met before. You were at before.
Oh, that's right. I remember that that they stopped somewhere. Okay, which means that the current iteration of the train would get us there. Hopefully,
Well,
I'd have to
if
look
we
at the
get
map.
dropped off, we won't even have to take the train. He can drop us off there and pick us up later. Like, we don't have to take the train or the Duke to drop us off magically.
Hmm.
He could cut down
Especially
a
if
day.
we're
He
going-
can't. He wouldn't be able to drop you into the town itself.
Right.
He'd have to drop you into. He basically shave a day off your journey.
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, it's better than
I-
nothing, but
Yeah.
I guess we should plan our mining journey then.
You're
Guess?
Yeah. But that's here within this city, so
Right.
Unless you want to treat with one of the
Unless we
other
wanna-
dwarven houses, but I imagine you came here to ask for the one here within Highmount, or Old Home, or Grandmount, I should call it rather.
Is Grandmount what the dwarves called it in their time?
He nods. Yeah.
I have to remember that when we speak to them.
Yeah. The official name is Highmount, and in all our official maps, it's called that. But well.
yes, the Gulf of Greymount.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that joke. I knew someone would.
And
So-
thankfully, any tribute you can pay won't necessarily need my assent. You'll be able to, especially with a mercantile, a master merchant in your group, you'll be able to treat with them as a party on your own. My signature would not. The Murum clan, although our understanding of of the Eclipsaran faith and of the fortunes changed, the sins of my grandfather are within living memory of dwarven kind, so.
Oh, yes, you're right. For them, it's yesterday. That is different.
You know, it's
I hadn't thought about that.
it is a very awkward time going to Stonehaven anytime. I try not to go there personally, unless they request my presence.
Well, if it's just a short journey there and back, I won't put you out. But we should definitely plan and prepare our delving then.
Quite.
Thank you again for your time. Your grace.
The moon and stars watch over you and guide your way.
Even when we can't see the moon and the stars?
The firmament of entropy extends whether you see it or not.
I'll smile broadly at that. Okay.
And thus will depart out of the castle. It would pierce the horizon, or in this case, it's helping you pierce the very ground beneath you.
Huh?
So yeah, you're outside of the main castle once again. The day having waned forward some more.
Okay, how should we proceed?
Well, you said that you have a way to get us into the lower city.
Well, I do. My home is located there, and I've met neighbors who told me that there are places we can go. I can go and ask those people for more details. I mean, there were various dwarves down in the area, quite a few who mentioned that there were things deeper. So, shall we go? I don't know if we need to do any preparing, but I think I'm ready.
Lucius nods. The only thing I would do is I'd swing by I'd spend the inventory points and then swing by a shop to buy an elixir.
Okay.
Remember, it's half price at the shop of Midas.
So that'll only be because normally it's 10 per, so that'd be 15 Zenit.
And you said we have like standard stuff like torches and whatnot. We don't have to pay for that, right?
Yep, that's what inventory points represents. If you're always presumed to have the necessities of travel, but if you need
Hey,
something special, then inventory points count for that.
Got it. Okay.
Now I'm at 68. I'm at 68 mind points now.
Well, Moore, do you have anything that you can offer that we should do to prepare before we go? I trust your judgment as a well-traveled wayfarer.
I'm already stocked up on hit points and everything. I would suggest if you haven't stocked up your or refreshed your inventory, I would suggest doing so.
Oh no, my inventory's stocked up. I'm down a few mind points, but that's no big deal. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I just needed to get some because I really don't have any. Or I didn't.
I think I'm good.
I was at like 15 mind points out of 96.
Yeah.
Or 18 mind points. Yeah. And as a heavy mind point. Yeah, this is a heavy mind point build. That yeah, ouch.
And I believe my last camp activity was to give you a magic lesson, Lucius. So from your camp activity, you can cast one use of that spell of mine, that rare spell.
Yerp.
Clones of Light, that's what it's
Clones of Light.
Clones of Light.
Which, as I recall, is a very mind point heavy spell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 30 points, but it's good 30 points. Like, you get a
oh
lot
yes.
out of it. It's very good for the price. All right. Then I guess we'll head to Aether's Dwemer Burrow and talk to my neighbors who had told me about the Undercity before.
Give me willpower as part of it as you go around asking your underground neighbors about ways to get deeper down into the actual like mine caverns.
Sure. Is this an open roll or?
There's a hard DC.
Okay.
It's closed, yeah.
Oh, got a 12 though. Anybody want to give me help?
I will.
13. You gonna bring your gracious demeanor to aid?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I'll give you a hand too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I guess we have a 12. Well, 12's not bad.
Yeah, they tell you of some places that there's some places that are closed off, but there are certain dwarves that you can talk to that that will let you go through their house to get down there. And they basically in their home, because they some people have bought the rights to go at certain guard doors. They usually just keep it closed. They just like to brag to their neighbors that, hey, I can go deeper if I want. But if people want to go down, they also, which almost never happens, but technically they own the gate, so they can charge a passage fee or toll,
Yeah.
which
Wow.
they think is going to be you're going to make someone's day. Someone's going to actually going to get to collect a toll in
Yeah, sounds good.
in the last 100 years.
Sounds good. Let's go make their day. That sounds great.
And the dwarf in
Knock on
question
the door.
is yeah, you'll meet like a old dwarven family who, well, old relative to you guys, but this is just normal to them.
I was going to say the whole family are old. They don't have any dwarf kids.
Well, they're old too. They're all grown up, you see.
Yeah, when they live that long, families last a long time, right?
Generational home.
Yeah.
They will charge 10 zenit a person to pass through their door.
Okay.
So that's that includes the helpers.
Yep, I'll pay my 10.
$10 down, 40 to go.
Oh yes, of course. Man, you just love nickel and diming me.
You are the wealthy one.
Well, yeah, it's funny for me because it's whenever it's a per person thing, I always end up having to spend three
Pay a little
times as
extra,
much.
yeah.
I always have to spend 3 times as much.
Sometimes 4 because I was broke for a while.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. Oh, I still owe you a little bit back. What do I owe you?
You're fine.
Okay.
I have over 3,000 zenit.
Oh, you wealthy money bags, you. Okay.
Yeah.
As
Well,
do
I started with like 1,000 or so extra.
You were saying something more?
Oh, I was saying I also have over 3,000 zenit. Also, I paid my 10 zenit
Okay.
fee.
I guess technically, if you include the stuff I'm carrying, I'm worth a lot more because I have the crafting needs expended for the staff, and that's like 4,000 zenit worth of materials.
Yeah.
So, including that, I've got a lot more money.
Lots
So,
of
kinda-
powdered silver and orichalcum sprockets and gold
Things that I've
wires.
collected to work on that stupid staff. We haven't begun yet, but yeah. Okay.
So, Lucius, do you pay your toll?
Yeah, I pay the 30 zenit toll.
Yeah, they open the door and they're all like official about it and somewhat grandeur, but the grandeur is lost because you're basically going through someone's living room and they pulled back a tapestry where there's this big fancy looking vault looking door. So it's kind of big door that's supposed to have like guards and stuff next to like their china cabinet.
Well, Aether at least will treat it with all full decorum. She may not be very good at it, but she does her best to treat it as serious because it's serious to these people. So she treats it like it's an important thing the whole time. Like whether they read that right or not, she's trying.
By the time you all pass, you will, and the door is shut behind you. You are the dwarves that will have a nice long dinner talk about see, I told you it would pay eventually. This is just the first wave of tourists, not realizing you're adventurers who are crazy enough to go into a mine that hasn't been looked at for generations.
I was going to ask what this blue clock is. It sounds like the day is just progressing on us.
Yeah, the longer a quest takes, the more time your enemies may have.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay.
Yes.
Since I'm worried about us getting lost, I would like to take out some chalk and mark the wall right where we arrive.
Good thing you don't see the big vault door next to you.
Funny. But I'm saying if I do this periodically, I should be able to find my way back, right?
Insight is part
Hopefully.
of it.
Yeah. Well, I do have a incomplete map of the Forgotten Realms that I can take out and watch it update as we travel too. because it
remember,
updates in real time. Right?
remember, it doesn't get fine details very well. It's great at moving from town to town or overland. It's not great dungeon delving.
Okay. Fair enough.
Just to give you
But yeah,
fair
I will
warning,
definitely
I don't want you to have
try.
I don't want you to have the wrong idea how powerful that is. It is
Sure.
powerful.
Well, I will
but just not
definitely
that kind of powerful.
try to keep us from getting lost with challenges periodically.
Yep.
And
It's
that's
nice
going
part
to
of it still.
be a crit fail. I am no good at this.
You mark
Does
chalk.
that mean I actually do I get a Fabula point too for a crit fail?
No.
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
No. You do make marks, but because actually you do actually get one because you fumbled. You actually do get a Fabula because of your chalk marking, you get lost. Because your chalk marking actually gets you guys turned around.
Oh wow.
And exposes you to extra danger.
Extra danger.
So time
Just
to do
what we needed.
Now time to do a travel roll. Because you're basically going to suffer a travel roll without actually getting closer to where you wanted to go.
Alrighty. That was fun. What do y'all think? Pretty funny?
Fine.
Aether's all like, I've got this, takes out the chalk, promptly gets the whole group lost.
Wrong thing again. I'll get used to this someday. No, I won't. So. You're wandering through and trying to make your way to get deeper down, trying to find some sort of, because they would have had mines and stuff that are down here. You see lots of decayed like minecart tracks, picks that are long forgotten, the semblances of settlements, then long pathways that carve, twist and turn, and have ladders, and then more ladders, then buckets, and then seal off places, go around this part. And eventually the chalk markings are a great idea if you're only moving on a two-dimensional plane, but you end up going like up, down, left, down, up, like you move around three-dimensionally, and so the markings start screwing you up a little bit, because eventually you run into one, and then it gets worse because you start running into chalk marks that you think are yours. They're not. They're actually what someone else used. Which unfortunately, you had the bad fortune to choose chalk marks that were kind of generic. They're just kind of a mark, like just a strike against the wall, not like an arrow or like
Right.
a delver sign.
Well, I mean, she's not great at this, so it's fair.
Yeah, it's one of those like, I would have thought to do arrows. I should have done arrows. Like by the time you figured that out, it's like, we're turned around. Oops. And I will have each of you roll for me a test. Wrong spot entirely. Sheet. I'm gonna call for might as part of it, as you are withstanding the rigors of traveling and climbing and jumping down and climbing some more and just trying not to get hurt during all this, because you're going through a lot of effort climbing through these caves.
I'm gonna go might willpower because I'm also like mentally toughness willing myself through.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'll do might's part of it, you said, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. I'll do insight and might.
same. I'd like to imagine at one point it's sort of like the barbarian meme with the when asked to read something and he's holding up saying, "This is definitely ink," right? I picture Aether eventually comes up to some markings on the wall and says, "These markings, they are definitely chalk."
Oh, look, yellow paint.
Well, I mean, a 9 isn't terrifyingly bad, right? 7's a basic success.
You suffer 20 mind points of damage.
Okay.
As you just get exhausted and frustrated and distracted. It's
All of us?
It's because especially since you get lost, you find the first mark you made, and it's and you see the vault door, and it's oh, we went all that way. Didn't have to climb
that's
over
all
that
of us?
stupid ball. No, just Aether.
Okay.
Fair.
You're gonna have to try to find your way again. Oh, and I'm also gonna take 1 inventory point from Aether because you grabbed some special chalk to help you mark stuff.
Okay, well, I need to spend 3 to drink an elixir now anyway, so
Yeah.
I guess that'll leave me with 2. That's not good. I didn't realize the chalk would cost me 1, but okay. Fair
Only
enough.
because it was a fumble. I wasn't gonna bother you if you, I was like,
Gotcha.
sure, whatever. It's just chalk. Fumble. Now I'm gonna pick on you.
Yeah, that's fair.
S-
I think for now, I'm going to save my inventory points then. Just have 5.
So, how do you folks intend to find your way to the cave? The chalk method doesn't seem to work.
Uh-huh.
I'm conceding to somebody else's leadership, obviously.
It's like I don't want to.
And
do
these
that
just
shit.
seem.
Yeah.
And
Sheepishly
we
hiding in the back of the party.
I stepped away. I stepped away for a couple minutes. I assume we're trying to navigate like labyrinthine tunnels under the city.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Aether basically got us lost. critical fumble.
Wonderful. Okay. I would say a good idea might be to try for Lucius. Ooh, and I know exactly how I'm gonna flavor this. Because Lucius can recall anywhere that he has been within the past week.
Okay.
Um,
That's hilarious.
he's
Given
gonna-
what just happened.
Yep. Yeah. Here, let me find it.
Oh, okay. You recall details of any scene you visited within the past week. Okay, yeah.
Yep. So, what I'm angling to do with this is that he will be able to recall as we go whether or not we're entering an area that we've been before, because he perfectly recalls the places that we have been before.
I'll say willpower is part of it, as you're trying to maintain your concentration as you're climbing and moving around stuff.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Insight willpower,
That's
I'll
pretty
say.
good. If nothing else, you could like literally take us back the way we just came from, where I got. Oh yes. Sometimes the dice tell a story, don't they?
Well, on the
You
plus
are
side,
Me.
this is the most critical fails we've had the entire adventure.
No, it's true. We haven't had a lot of them.
So
It's
funny.
hilarious.
Have your
But I mean,
fabula.
what's even better is now after all that, Lucius isn't even going to be able to like make fun of Aether for fucking up, because Lucius just did it too.
Oh god. Everyone, I'm gonna ask you for a willpower as part of its check, as Lucius insists, no really, this is the right way, trust me. He is unfortunately wrong. And there's a certain level of, oh god, eventually.
This is gonna cost me.
Come
I am-
on.
I am. Man, that is something.
All right, so you got opportunity. Let's resolve that.
I presume. What do you guys think? Should I push that clock back?
I'm thinking we could, yeah, either. Don't you like get the ability to move a clock even further when you do it as well? It's gonna be my points.
It's only if it's like a interaction with characters thing. If I'm
Oh, okay. So you
if
can't
I'm if
interact
I'm
with a plot clock now. Okay.
yeah. Well, I can, but it has to be a clock that's being moved as a result of like diplomacy
Yeah, I get
or
it. Okay. Yeah, then progress might be good, but then you could also look for information. Like maybe throughout all of this, you could still somehow spot a useful clue or detail that'll lead us to where we need to go.
yeah.
Either one of those are probably good.
Yeah, what do you think more?
I am unsure. I mean, if we want, I can try because I do have the Wayfarer ability, or sorry, the merchant ability that I might have heard of this area now that we've wandered around a bit.
Yeah. I'll push the clock back just because
But yeah, I do
we
think
have
pushing the clock back's a good idea.
we have other ways of finding information.
Okay.
Pushing the clock back is something that we don't get a ton of chances for.
Aether and more suffer 20 HP in damage because you go at a really fast pace, insisting, no, really, if we go just a little faster, we'll get there. No, if we go a little faster. No, guys. If we go a little faster. Eventually, you guys just go, Lucius, you're lost. Please stop. Because you're starting to get hurt. Your muscles are starting to ache because you're basically sprinting your way through a cave. Eventually, there's a point where it's starting to get dangerous because you're taking damage. It's like, no. We're not doing it this way anymore.
Lucius just looks up. Lucius just looks up and he says, "Dev, I'm not lost. I just don't know where we are."
Brinius and Vivius look at you too, apologetically, like we're very sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to do that cartoon thing where I'll wrap my ears around my eyes one at a time, like self-blindfold myself with my rabbit ears and just shake my head. That's my rabbit face palm.
I think it's this new pilgrim title that's been foisted on me. It makes me wander aimlessly.
Yes, that has to be it.
While we're lost, I'm gonna try to examine the area around me and try to deduce, based on like geological clues and stuff like that, how to get out of here.
Insight is part of it.
Okay. I am going to spend a trade point for my I've heard of it skill. Once I can get to the damn thing because my character sheet is being slow and annoying. There. So it gives me +6 to the result.
Oh god, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a location. Yeah, that applies.
You get +6. Dang.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a.
Watch me roll a crit fail.
That would be hilarious, right?
Oh god, don't.
Oh please.
Yeah.
I mean, on the plus
Change it
side,
now.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
I was actually
boy.
going to say, though, it would be pretty hilarious, though, for legendary adventurers who've been saving various bits of the kingdom, go into a simple mine to get some Hearthstone, and we're never
just
heard from again.
Just And we just get bodied.
Just get lost underneath the safest city in the world. Uh,
Uh,
You are able to reflect upon various. Um, Funny enough, you're able to reflect back on various prospecting reports you heard from dwarves way back when. Now, some of the reports are very, very old. However, what you care about is the very, very old, because this place hasn't been looked at for a while. So, you start seeing after wandering around with these people, it's like, wait a minute, this is from the prospector so and so is part of this expedition, which means you should be at this mine, which means the place you want to go is this way. And then you're just able to, as if you were following a map. This way, no, it's that way. As you're remembering different prospects in your head and able to trace your way to the where the major forging station was, because they would have built a major forge to work Heartstone. And Heartstone, and usually they build. The good thing about those is that you would find, because they were trying to find like a particular cave that was on like a particular vein, but you realize or know because you've read these reports that Heartstone is so sacred and so important that they would build a forge right next to the seam. So it's more accurate to be looking for a forging station or a forging area, and that's how you're able to kind of lead people to a set of iron doors, which in Dwarven it says Grand Forge Station, Great Mount. That is to say, it is the forging station in the Grand Mount. And it has a number on it, which means, off the top of your head, because you got 21, I'm going to tell you that there are at least 3 Heartstone mines across the entire Grand Mount. You're at one of them.
Okay, well, when we arrive, I am very quickly going to make my way over to Mort Duncan and then reach out and pat her on the head. Very gently, very sweetly. Thank you saved us. You deserve head pats.
I would have found it eventually.
When we were gray, Myers and Brinius.
I love it,
baby.
I love it. They're not duty bound to like not shit talk me anymore.
Yeah, they can shit talk you now. I love it. That makes them more entertaining, though, I think. I'm just gonna like commiserate with you a little. Like, I really thought my chalk idea was a good one too. I'm so sorry.
Well, now we have to get past this door. You notice that you're standing before a large iron door. There seems to be 3 statues off to the left side of the door. And they have what looks like those glowing runes you saw on the door, Jessica's moon door. Except there's one on each of the dwarven statues. One has what you understand to be a symbol. There's a dwarven symbol that you're not familiar with, but you do see an elemental symbol which is somewhat universal, for ice. So something ice, and then it shows a dwarf plunging their hands into the pedestal. Like, that's what it kind of looks like they're doing. Another one, something in Dwarven. Earth. And you see a dwarf holding up what looks to be some sort of. It's all one color. It's all gray. So it's some sort of stone or bit of ore, perhaps. And the third one, something fire. And you see a dwarf his back to you, plunging what looks to be a spear into or shaft into the wall. Does no one like door handles? Is that not a thing anymore? Says Imbrinius, frustrated. What's with all the magic
So,
doors? Just put locks on things. Are you
what are
okay,
these three elemental
Imbrinius?
symbols? Fire, stone, and what? I'm looking at them.
I saw ice.
Ice was the third
Fire,
one.
stone, and
Ice was the first one.
Ice, ice, stone, and fire in that order.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe that's like how you forge things, right? Like how you forge ore into solid, pure metal by, first you heat it up, then you hammer it, and then you cool it down
Or
quickly. Although normally you'd use water, not ice.
well, this is less of a um this is for refining ore into the raw metal. So that would be you go from the raw ore, the stone, to the fire, to the cooling.
Well, I mean, we don't even know what kind of puzzle this is yet. What do the dwarven symbols actually say beyond the element?
You don't know. They're very specific jargon or technical words that, unless you're a smith, there's no reason for you to know what those are.
Okay.
I will allow for an insight roll. If you get high enough, you might happen to know them, like just by sheer know things. But it's going to be pretty.
I'm thinking that would be for one of our lore masters. Probably not.
I don't
think I would know that. Yeah.
Is this an open?
It's closed.
It's closed? Okay, I don't get my bonus.
7 ain't gonna get it. You know they're
cool.
dwarven. You know they're not secretly draconic.
Alright. Cool.
Or really badly written elven.
The symbols for the symbols for the elements that like we can clearly make out as being the elemental symbols, do they appear like as text, or are they like the straight elemental symbols?
The elemental symbol.
Okay. In which case Lucius will go up to the symbol for earth and see if he can press it or interact with it at all.
You feel as you press into it a tingle at your palm, and then a building headache starting to form behind your eyes. And do you have any spell casting classes?
I do not.
Well, I need a willpower as part of a test at this point.
Cool.
I'm watching that intently.
That's 10.
You managed it. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, that headache's pretty bad. But before you pull away from it, you are kind of able to manage the headache. Like, you're able to concentrate a little bit, but it really hurts. It's not like blinding pain. It's, more on the 4. It's like a 4 on the pain scale of 10. It's you're hurting, but you could do stuff. And you notice it lights up as you lose 20 mind points.
Ooh, not fun.
Get the feeling you could have lost a lot more if you miffed that roll. Maybe even lost some HP. But yeah, as you drain into it, it lights up, and you see that the whole thing seems to come to life in the sense that it goes full color and very high definition painting. And you can see like the color of his boots, the color of his work outfit, the fact he has like a auburn beard with a very particular silverish, like a silver gold rings in his beard, and a gleaming a chunk of what looks to be a sort of prismatic, pearlescent bit of rock. What we might call, in modern terms, we would call it like bismuth. So it has that very cool rainbow-looking effect and weird geological angles to it.
Cool.
Dope.
Well, would you like me to try the second one? I have an idea.
Be my guest, and he's just sort of rubbing his temple.
Okay. Rather than going and putting my paw on it or whatever, I would like to withdraw my staff. I'll take an action to transform it into fire element, and then I will gently lean the staff towards the symbol of fire on that particular statue
It lights up.
and see if it activates it.
Oh, that's rather clever.
I would do a
Lucius.
test of some kind for the staff, but it's an artifact. It's fine.
Hmm.
So it works.
Lucius.
It lights up the statue and everything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, you notice that the person, you actually see the statue moving a little bit. You see him drawing the staff out, looking at something gleaming at the end, some sword, you think, and then they plunge it back into the wall. And they repeat doing this process like they're in the middle of doing something.
Okay, cool. I can probably use the staff on the third one too. What's the last one's element?
Ice.
Okay. I'll walk away from the current statue, transform, take an action to change my staff into the ice element, and then go approach the third statue.
Think it frosts over for a second, it lights up, and you notice that the dwarf that's plunging its hand into the pedestal yanks something out, and you can see a splash of illusory water come out of the pedestal, and you see this glow. The dwarf seems to have like some sort of very strong gloves on ripped to its elbows, and he's yanking a massive sword, looks like the thing you saw earlier, and then he's plunging it back in. But each time he's pulling it out, you can see it's gleaming with that same prismatic, pearlescent appearance.
Beautiful.
And then
Okay.
the doors slide open.
Cool.
I will transform my staff back into physical for safekeeping and then put it away. And look around and say, I guess this thing still has some great uses.
Oh God, you're all dead.
Yeah. Yes, having an all-purpose elemental staff definitely is helpful. Oh, Oh, this is a sizable map.
We're in the dark.
Yeah. Don't worry, folks. They can't see this, but we can. I have to reveal to them what.
Well, I mean, every time I'm in the dark, I hear the song by Billy Squire in my head.
Do reveal. Do. There you go. You step into a massive chamber as magical arcane lanterns light up at your appearance.
Dun dun dun.
Does anything seem out of place in this hall?
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about traps.
Inside is part of it.
I'll open roll?
Oh no, closed.
Cool.
You can lead. I will help.
I will also help.
Probably.
It doesn't matter.
Why did we
Even if-
succeed?
Well, even if you both succeed, that only gets me up to a 12.
There's normally little risk of death until the GM breaks out the 5-inch square maps. Thank you, Boomerang. You're not wrong.
That's good.
Yeah, say that to us like 5 minutes ago when we were fumbling every other roll and getting zorded by statues.
One thing you notice is the distinct lack. This is a massive chamber where there should be carts, tools, people,
Tracks.
ore, tracks. It's a
Old
big
infrastructure. Yeah.
open hall.
Do we see any signs of things having been removed from here at the very least?
It looks clean.
Does it look
and
like there's
maintained.
supposed to be a throne at the other end?
No?
Oh, just a big empty hall. Yeah.
Is that a door all the way over here on the north?
Yep. There's also a door in the south over this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. Okay. I guess we'll gingerly move forward looking for traps as we check the room out. Or at least I will.
No traps yet.
It's well lit because of these torches, right?
Yep, little arcane lanterns that are hanging out on the walls.
Sure. Well, okay. I'm going to purposely but carefully walk through until we get near this door and get to where I can examine it carefully from a distance.
No, you're okay. You're okay. No, you keep going.
I'll get to about here, like 10 feet away from it, and look it over.
Oh, more. I was wondering why you were hissing.
I thought I had to check where you guys were going. You're okay. You're fine.
Okay.
You didn't trip anything.
I'm gonna try to follow along in the path that Ether took.
Well, I mean, the hissing helps because we're not at a live table where you can do paranoia dice rolls. But yeah, I will examine this door and see what kind of door it is. Is it like a regular door? Is it like a iron door? Is it like a, what kind of door are we talking about?
It is an iron door with a handle and a lock and everything. It's a
thank
real
God.
honest to God door. I mean, those are doors too. It's just a regular door, at least to all appearances. Inside is part of it.
Well, before I go further with the door, I'd like to talk about the floor that we walked along to get here and
Sure.
the ceiling. How high is the ceiling and what kind of floor are we talking about here? Is this like complete natural stone or is it
It's
paved
worked.
like the map?
It is worked stone and fitted together into various patterns.
Like pavestones. Yeah, pavestones. Got it.
And the ceiling's about 20 feet up.
Okay. And the ceiling looks like natural stone or
Worked stone. They built the ceiling.
work natural stone? Okay, got it. Yeah, I will examine the door. Do you want me to do this? Or do you want to handle it?
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay,
Cool.
I don't mind taking the risk. You said insight was part of it.
Yeah. When is the door
I'll
not
get
a
a little
door?
closer, within about 5 feet, and then
When it's ajar.
Like,
yeah,
like
right in front of it.
Like right here?
Yeah, when is a door not a door? When it's ajar? Yeah, I know that joke.
You sure you want to be there when you do this roll?
No, not right in front of it. I said 5 feet away from it. Somebody moved me closer.
That's more than 5 feet. Like 10 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought these were 5 feet squares. They're not. They're 10-foot squares. I see now. My bad. Okay.
5 feet
Well, yeah, I'll
would be
get a
about
little
here.
closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you want to be there, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Carry on.
I have good reflex. Would this be considered an open roll?
No.
Okay. I got a 12.
12. Nothing seems to happen when you look at it. Looks to be made of iron. Looks very
I don't discern
clean.
anything particularly unusual about it. It's clean though. That's weird.
That's what's weird.
'Cause
Yeah,
we're down
like,
here.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if
Okay.
no one's been here for over a century, then why is it so nice looking? It looks polished even.
Is the whole room fairly dust-free? In fact,
It's entirely dust free.
yeah, it feels like this is like a clean room of some kind. If I had any concept of what that is, I'll just pass that information along and just tell you guys. It feels awfully strange to me how clean this room is door is if it hasn't been visited by anyone in hundreds of years. Something feels off about this. And then I back away from the door because I'm going to let somebody else open if they want to. That feels like a Vibius Umbrinius job to me. I don't know.
What would that roll be?
To do what?
I didn't say for a roll. I just said, like,
Oh,
I'm going
okay.
to let somebody else open the door. Like, I figured
opening.
out all I can by examining it. I think it's a
Yeah.
normal iron door, but it's weird that it's so clean.
Yeah.
The whole room is through. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Like-
I'll go over and open it.
You move over. You're going to open the door.
Yep.
Okay. So you reach out for the door handle. You grab it. There's a little there's a little thumb press to kind of let the latch move out of the way. Pretty fancy door for that. Most doors don't have that. You press it down right with your thumb, so try to push it forward. Clunk. It seems to be locked.
Oh, wonderful.
Nothing happens when it clunks. It just makes a clunk noise.
Yeah. Well, this door would appear to be locked.
Okay.
Wait. Does someone know how to pick locks?
I do not.
I am afraid our resident locksmith is back on the train.
Right.
Rude.
Right.
No, she's okay.
Well, I feel like this door isn't going to get us where we need to go anyway because it's too small to get ore through. Like, aren't we looking for places where they would be moving large amounts of ore anyway? Like, this chamber looks like it could have at once served that purpose, but that door would not be any part of that. It's too small. You know what I'm saying?
Almost big enough.
Here's a question: as we're walking, is there anything on the ceiling of note?
I had asked before. He said it's just normal work stone.
Okay.
And it's 20 feet high.
Cool.
Would you like me to take the lead again for safety more?
Sure.
Okay. I'll walk in front and head to the other larger door down
Okay.
here.
Yep. You're okay.
I'm going to get to about here and get a good look at it. What kind of door are we talking about?
I think he's just messing with us.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's stuff hidden on the GM layer. I'm trying to keep it from alerting you. Well, I have to alert you to
I'm
some
not
degree,
looking-
but I don't want to control your tokens at the same time.
No, I don't watch the Twitch stream when we're in these sections, so. you
Oh
can be
yeah,
sure I'm not.
yeah. Well, even if you did, they wouldn't make sense to you right away. But like, that could be a good thing for all you.
Well, no, but I don't cheat. Like, I basically, when we're
Well,
in role-playing scene, I go claim points, and that's it.
That's why you guys get hurt. No.
We
We go by Illuminati rules. If you cheat and get away with it, it's okay. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't cheat.
But yeah, you see what appears to be a large silver vault door.
There we go, vault. More, look, it's a vault.
There's a number on it, 76. What does that mean?
I haven't seen that movie.
You see the dwarven characters for Forge above the door.
Wonder if the forge is behind that door.
I'll move up close to it and give it a good examination for risk's sake again. See if there's anything more I can determine before we interact with it directly.
Insight is part of it.
Certainly. Oh, I'm going to need help. Anybody want to add their insights?
Anyone else want to get in range of the door?
Yeah.
Okay, that brings you up to a 10.
I am not hopeful.
Well, I mean, it's 2 levels of success, so 10's good.
It does seem to be made of silver. It does seem to have a hint of magic about it.
Okay. Any elemental symbols on it?
It would have the symbol of stone and fire repeatedly on it, which would imply that the door itself is magically enchanted.
Of course, of course. Okay. If only I were an arcanist or an elementalist and I could understand this stuff better.
It seems to have, as part of that roll, also note that you see there are 2 keyholes on either side of the big wheel in the center.
Okay. Big keyholes.
Yep.
So obviously, if we had the keys, we could just open it and go in. I'm going to turn to more Duncan and say, do you have any key knowledge or insight about where we might locate these keys if they were in the vicinity? Where would they be kept?
I'll try to examine the lock and try to figure.
Insight is part of it. I'll give you +2 riding off of the roll you did earlier.
Cool. Say +2. Could be worse.
Could be raining.
These would seem to be. These look to be. If they're anything like dwarven vault doors you've seen before, which are popular at banks because they're very well made and very hard to break into, and when they're ensorcelled like this, good luck getting into them with magic. The keyholes would require. Are theoretically pickable, but extremely difficult because you're dealing with something that magically can crush your tools or burn the user for trying to break down the door. That said, keys like these would be in the hands of whoever the foreman or mine or forge master would have been. So. And there would be 2 keys, you know that, because they'd have the main forge master and their and the head of worker, like the forge master and the workers master, who would have a key each to get into the main forge. Because this is like the most there's like smaller forges everyone would have, but this is the forge, which probably is connected to the vault for all the stuff they're forging.
I have a question. Does it look like maybe this vault hadn't even been opened in ages?
It's hard to tell because it's so clean.
Right. That's part of the enchantment. Okay. All right. Well, I would like to.
I will say, to follow up on that, I will say because of that, it probably isn't rusted shut or decayed, so you don't have to worry about it being like jammed or anything.
Right. Good thought. Okay. Drink.
There are 2 wedges left of the clock of 12.
Oof. Well, hammering down this thing isn't likely, and neither is disenchanting the vault. And looking over to the east, there really isn't anything else over in this part of the room, right?
It goes to a flat wall.
Yeah.
If anything, another weird thing is you don't see any decorations in this room. Dwarves like decorating. Big halls like this are places you would decorate.
Yeah,
to
it
show
seems
off your
very
wealth and
strange.
stuff.
I don't get it. I can't help but think that like maybe there is all this stuff here and we just can't see it, like it's being hidden from us magically. Or no. That's sort of one of my suspicions, I guess you'd say. I'll pass that along to you guys. Like, do you think it's possible that we're actually standing in a dwarven hall that looks normal and we're just not being allowed to see it?
I couldn't say one way or the other.
If that were the case, what
Wow.
could we do to alleviate the problem?
it occurs to you that there are some ritual magic you might be able to do to reveal such things.
There's also one other option. I'm considering trying this. When I transform into another creature, I actually become that creature.
Mm-hmm.
What if I became a dwarf?
Oh wait, hang on. I just had a thought. Hang on,
Okay.
Aether, your
Yes.
your new thing,
My new thing.
your new gauntlet thing.
Oh, good point. The gauntlet. Let me look at it again. I'll dig around and take out the ethereal gauntlet. No, wait.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. The ethereal gauntlet. Perfect. It's dangerous, but we can step into the ethereal plane and actually just walk into the vault. It allows the user to phase through solid matter, manipulate shadows, and tap into the energies of the unseen. Okay. I am going to, do y'all think I should risk it?
Oh wait, did you say can see the unseen?
Yes. I'll put on the gauntlet and see what it allows me to see
You put on
without
the
activating the
gauntlet.
other features. Yep.
You feel it cling to every surface of skin, pull at your very nails, straighten your fingers out as it goes rigid. You feel it.
I switched into my equipment slot too. Go on.
You feel it clamp hard onto your forearm, almost to a strength of pinching, and you feel your eyes start to blur, possibly from pain. As you lose 20 mind points. As you see the blurriness kind of phases through and you feel magic seeping out of every pore of you, and you feel, and all of you watch us from every surface, almost like the gauntlet is squeezing the magic out of Aether. It squeezes out that power, and then poof, it flings it across the entire hall, and you can see ghostly apparitions of dwarves moving around and directing each other, moving this over there. A big, massive golem clanking its way, carrying things. Lots of little arcane lanterns filling around. A very busy hall. And then you see a sort of montage of various events of them doing this. You know, sometimes they're drinking and having a nice laugh. Sometimes they're working. Sometimes it's nearly abandoned. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. You see someone celebrating some sort of coming of age thing, maybe. More, and then suddenly you see everyone dressed in heavy armor, loading big looking crossbows. There's one guy who looks to be a magic cannon in his arm, and everyone's kind of nervous that he has one. And they're all looking toward the door that you walked in. And they're all like hiding behind barricades, getting ready, bracing themselves. The doors are blown open, and you see a rush of holy dark knights rushing into the room, battling the dwarves, and the illusion washes away.
Okay.
And then
Did everyone else see that too, or just
yep,
me?
everyone saw that.
Oh,
I will have to do something about my mind words now, so I will expend 3 to drink a potion. And however, because of my maid uniform, I get 5 additional magic points out of it.
Nice.
That finally comes in handy.
Ooh.
So instead of 50, I get 55 back. So plus 55.
I'll also highlight to the three of you, after seeing all that and seeing the apparitions and seeing some of the decorations that once were here in the apparitions, you remember having been at Castle Highmount, seeing those things hanging on the walls and being on plinths and such.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, I think we may as well risk it, but I don't want to put my friends in danger, so I'm going to go alone.
Well,
Um,
I mean, it's the British Museum.
yeah, but I'm going to activate the gauntlet and see if it'll let me just
Shink.
walk
Oh
right
wow,
into
that hurts every time you do that. Great, that's awesome. You put your hand up against the wall. You lean your weight into it. You keep leaning. Ow, 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 ow. Wow, this really hurts. And then it stops hurting, and you. There's a moment that at least sees some more. You're watching. You're watching Aether like push against the wall, go through the wall. Yeah, get through the wall. Just one more, and it almost looks like it's not gonna work. And then whoop, it's like she falls through paper mache and disappears through the wall.
Okay.
You take no damage.
Um,
You use the gauntlet properly.
Yay.
Aether?
I don't think I could probably hear them through a vault, can I?
Is all you hear.
Yeah. Can I see on the other side, or is it just dark? Okay, I got you. I was waiting for you to reveal.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice. So you see a massive forge work area with various workstations all about the room, and a massive bubbling pit of molten rock, and situated in there, you see what appears to be a massive construct made of molten rock and chain, just kind of standing there, about shoulders, only its shoulders and head peering out of the molten rock.
Okay.
You do, and that's what's lighting the room. There are like magical lanterns lighting the room, but that is the brightest thing. Like this thing is lighting everything basically.
Cool.
And you do see the door you came through, and you see there's another smaller door that way.
Okay. Important question: if I turn back and look at the vault that I just passed through, does it look to be that there is a handle or a way to just open it from this side?
There's a
without
large
having,
lever on the right side. It looks like you can pull.
Yeah, I immediately go over and yank on that lever to open. Hopefully, open the vault.
Clunk. And actually, I'm going to ask you for might as part of it, because it is possible you have to struggle to. It's really hard to pull this open. Almost like a regular a single person isn't supposed to be doing this.
All right. Well, I'm pretty strong, so
Yeah.
all right.
You're
I'll put some muscle into it and use my brain to like use my body intelligently without pulling muscles. So insight might.
Makes sense.
Is it an open roll or no?
Close.
Targets need. Okay.
Easily.
12.
It's an effort, and then once you figure out the trick to it, it's like, oh, if I do it, you don't do it all in one go. You kind of pull it a little bit, let go of the handle, and it'll hold it in place. Pull a little bit more,
Like
let go, and
Chunks, right?
Yeah. So you
I guess like notches on a gear. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll yank it down bit by bit.
And eventually, you're able to spin the wheel and enter through this doorway.
Well, that is handy.
I hold it up and say, "I see what you did there. Welcome to my vault," as they can come in. For a moment, it was all mine. And then I'm going to point at the thing in the middle of the room and say, "What the hell is that thing?"
That is something that is Seven's area of expertise.
Of course it is. She's still fixing the train, though. Need her to do that, so it's okay.
What are those things? Oh wait, never
Coming in
mind.
order.
Those are Ultima. Sorry, the way I was on the page, it looked like the Ultima were actually just enemy tokens.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That's possible. All right. Well, there's a door over here we should probably check out. I don't see anything in the room that's immediately useful, like the heartstones here. But if we locate heartstones, we can refine them here. Like, I mean, I'm not educated in that sort of thing, but
You do see there are
if someone
various like
knew
bits
how.
of Zenith lying about, various weapons and armor.
Oh, well, that's different. We need to loot the place then.
Yeah, there's lots of nice stuff here. You get the feeling that that battle from before, they took that room, but getting in here, yeah, that's something that an army with a bunch of swords would have struggled to get through.
Okay. For the moment, I'd like to minimize risk to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to switch my artifact back to my circlet that I wear rather than gauntlet, because I don't want to be tempted in using it just whenever. Who knows what I'll do to
You
myself.
try to take it off.
Yes, I would like to try to take it off.
You cannot take it off.
Oh no.
Can't even make a roll to take it off.
You can give me might roll to force it off. Rip
I'm
it
gonna
off of
make
you.
the effort.
Oh, is it cursed?
Well, yes, we know it's a cursed art.
Yeah,
Uh,
Darkland stuff.
Yeah, we
Right.
knew going into it that this would be dangerous, but I took the risk and it was worth it because it got us in here. We needed to get in here. I will attempt to take it off. I got doubles at least.
Yeah, but it's not a 7.
Yeah. So what does it mean when you get doubles but not a 7?
You need at least if it's one doubles only count if it's successful, and it's even if it is successful, it has to be 7 or more for it to count.
Well, anybody can help me to get that point up, like grab my arm and grab the thing and pull it off with me. Can they help?
They can, yeah.
Somebody help?
Yep.
Sure.
Everyone pitches in together trying to rip this thing off of Aether.
There's a
Nope.
fail.
I am no help.
Oh, no. All for nothing. I tried for nothing. Okay. Well, I guess
you do.
now.
Well, you do have a couple Fabula.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'll just wear it for now. I'll deal with it.
You get this feeling you might be able to try again later, but for now, it seems to be really that glove wants to stay on your arm.
All right, fair enough. I'll live with it.
Yeah, maybe 7 can help you take it off later.
With their magic cannon.
Oh,
Jailbreak it.
Jailbreak it.
not do that.
So, a forge full of armor and weapons, strange golem in its center, and a door at the far end. And the door you came in, of course.
Actually, I would like to confirm something with you. When you gave me that gauntlet before, did you say that wearing it also gave me +1 magic defense while I wore it, or no?
Yeah, because it has the passive benefit of being a gauntlet, so it gives +1 physical defense and +1 magic defense.
Okay, well at least I don't take a hit to my defenses then, so that's good. All right, let me.
Because you
make sure
can
I
just
mark
block with the gauntlet normally.
Right,
It's an artifact gauntlet, so it's you might as well be wearing something indestructible on your arm.
that. Okay, that means I don't take a hit to my defenses. In fact, my physical defense goes up a point. So
Oh,
that's
that's
good.
funny.
Fair enough. There we go. Okay, then thanks for trying to help me get this thing off, but I think I'm going to have to just wear it for a while. So do we want to loot the room before we hit the door? Because there's a lot of Zenith to be found.
Well, first I want to examine this crazy contraption in the middle of the room.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think I need to collect some of this money. I mean, I'm not as, thirsty for cash as our little friend back at the train, but at the same time, I'm tired of mooching off my friends. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to alleviate my constant problems by gathering Zenith for a bit.
As you start gathering up Zenith, the golem in the center of the room starts to move.
Oh,
And starts stepping out of the rock and molten. and you see the molten rock dripping away from it, the chains melting and reforming as its entire length rises out, and everyone probably backs away because bits of molten metal start flipping away from it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
we'll be back to have you guys fighting the guardian of the forge.
whoops. I guess going for the goal, going for the Zenit was not the right move. Darn.
We're doing that one fight from Baldur's Gate 3.
I was thinking exactly that, yeah. Oh, and before we actually end, I'm going to pull you over to the map screen real quick.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Because you ran out of time.
Oh no.
The night has come. Your enemies have had time to act. 2 wedges fill of the world clock.
Ooh.
Thankfully, it's only the world clock.
Good.
Okay.
So that was a lot of fun tonight. I had a good time.
Mm.
So,
Those crit fails on
Oh,
getting
that's so
lost were
funny.
hilarious. Yeah,
That was so funny.
pretty great.
So, for all of you watching out there, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we look forward to seeing you again next time, where we see how this little delve goes. See you next time. Bye.
Woof. Oh my god, those 2 crit fails though.
Yeah,
Funniest. It was the
Yeah.
funniest
They
thing.
were pretty funny,
Back to back.
especially since they were back to back. Yes, both for the same thing.
Yep. Oh,
And there were
So glad
fumbles
you
too. So
followed
I,
that up.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, can't even fix them.
Well, what I was
Right.
saying was
No, I know
that
what you're
because there were fumbles, I was like, well, I have to pick on you. I have to
Yeah,
do
it was-
something
right.
because you got a Fabula out of it. So
I'm so glad that we backed it up with more doing like a 21 to get us back on track.
Right.
We could
Yeah.
have been like, I mean, it is funny to think though that like, and they were never heard from again. The end, right? Like that would be such a exclamation joke, right? Like the meme ending to the campaign.
Yep.
And
It's like
the
one
future
of the
refused
hidden
to
endings.
change.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
one of the hidden endings. Like there's an achievement
Yeah,
for
like
it.
for a video game, this would be one of the